Hello again, I am Manduke, the fourth to be precise. Some of you might know me as Joe. I'm going to do a little review of just some of my thoughts about recently watching the two Dragon Z films back to back, Cooler's Revenge and Return of Cooler. Now, when I was younger, I remember I watched Cooler's Revenge like one time, and I guess I didn't like it very much. Maybe I thought it was boring. When I was younger, I liked Return of Cooler a lot more. Honestly, after having going back and watched both films, I think Cooler's Revenge is actually, as a film, holds up better overall. Like, the animation was just really good. The coloring was very vibrant and stood out to me. The fight scenes were actually not that repetitive. What the action that took place actually was pretty interesting. They actually had to kind of hide and attack, and just they had to use some interesting attacks. Piccolo used his arm elongation thing. That was pretty cool. And there was actually a fair amount of build-up before the actual fighting occurred. Like, there was a lot of drama where Goku is injured, and they have to kind of hide him, and Gohan has to go and retrieve the sensu beans, and there was actually some tension there, and it didn't all involve fighting, and it also had some of the tender moments I like, a little bit of humor, a little bit of nice family stuff. There was a little conversation Chi-Chi and Goku had at the beginning of the movie about Gohan doing homework versus doing camping, and that was just funny. I just thought that was cool. The soundtrack was pretty good. Unlike in Lord Slug, where I just thought it kind of stood out, actually the American heavy metal rock music really worked for this film. Cooler's Revenge was cool. I thought that, no pun intended, I thought that Cooler was really a pretty dynamic character in that one. His whole desire for revenge was based upon, just the fact that he thought Goku ruined his family honor by killing his brother, and then his realization that he could have killed Goku. Yeah, actually, I just thought that one was pretty good. I didn't actually like it as much when Cooler transformed to his new level of power. I just thought it kind of looked silly. And I thought that when Goku finally transformed into Super Saiyan, it was a little too one-sided, and of course a little anticlimactic, like most Dragon Ball Z films are. Most Dragon Ball Z can be a lot of the time. But overall, I think it was pretty good. After having gone back and watched Return of Cooler, Return of Cooler is pretty good, but it's definitely not as good as Cooler's Revenge, in my opinion. It's really just kind of more of an excuse to bring back Cooler, basically kind of repeating the whole thing that happened to Frieza, where they thought they killed him, and then he came back as a cyborg. The whole thing about Cooler getting trapped in space and his consciousness being fused with this giant, like this big Getty star, this giant cyber computer Death Star thing of doom that goes around each planet. He goes and attacks the new Namekians to try and get revenge indirectly against Goku, and kind of to attract him and his friends there. And there's some pretty cool fight scenes. It's just kind of cool to see Krillin and Gohan, Piccolo fight the robots. There's some funny moments with Master Roshi and Yajirobe, of course. You get to see Goku and Vegeta fight together as Super Saiyans. And Metacooler is interesting because he can quickly reform himself. He's kind of like Doomsday or Cell in Dragon Ball Z, where he can just sort of regrow his limbs, and he can reconfigure himself so that he can't be defeated the same way twice. But really, other than the fact that there was an interesting premise with the whole big Getty star and the new Cooler body, and the fact that you get to see two Super Saiyans fight together, Vegeta and Goku, it really isn't that memorable of a film. I definitely would say that definitely check out Cooler's Revenge first if you haven't seen it for some reason. And I'm not saying that, pretty much even the worst Dragon Ball Z movie can be entertaining, but I'd definitely say that, in my personal opinion, Cooler's Revenge is superior to Return of Cooler. Yeah, and that's after years of not having watched it and looking at it from a more objective point of view. I actually got really sucked in. I really enjoyed Cooler's Revenge. I actually really enjoyed it. Return of Cooler, I actually was kind of like, this is kind of boring. So, those are just my thoughts about those two Dragon Ball Z movies back to back. Yeah, take that information with what you will. This is Manduke signing off, and I guess I'll see you some other time. Thanks.